What's up? It's Wednesday, January 26th, 2022. And what I want to talk about today is working full time and how I make $300 every single time I work full time. The last time that I didn't make $300 was way into last year. I'm thinking late September, early October, and it was $277. You know, I probably could have grinded out that extra 20, and I got a late start. I think I either started at 11:30 or 12:30 that day, but I did work a full day. But ever since then, I've been on an incredible $300 streak, and on top of that, I've made $400 3 times. So I wanted to give you some tips. I gave tips on working after work last week. Right after that, I made $220 in 7 hours over a 2-day span. So if you work part-time, go watch that video. Now, first, you know, this is all zone specific, area specific. No doubt about that. You have to live in a good area. If you live way out in the country, in a rural area, some of these tips will work for you, but you might not make $300 a day. But if you live in St. Louis, for instance, or someplace like that, there's no doubt that you can. St. Louis is a great area. There's no doubt about that. But do I think it's the mecca of Doordash? No. Do I think it's Doordash heaven? No. I think it's probably just an average urban area. So let's just get right to it. Number one tip is get out as early as you can. Now, some days you're going to work late. So I would say try to be in your area by 9:30. By 10:30 for sure. But I would rather grind in the morning because there's quite a few restaurants already open and the rest of the restaurants are opening, rather than try to grind at night after you worked all day. And all the restaurants are either closing or closed, and they seem to close a little earlier every day, and they just close whenever they want to. We all know that. So try to get out as early as you possibly can. Number 2 is get in a centralized location in your area. I dash in Chesterfield, Missouri, and I get right at Clarkson and 40. And why I chose that is I don't want to be right in the middle, because that would probably be Clarkson and Clayton, and that would push me into Manchester Road all the time. I do not want to be on Manchester Road all the time because of traffic. Anybody that's been over there knows that. So I come back a little bit to Clarkson and 40. What I'm trying to do is get a bunch of deliveries to Chesterfield Airport Road. Why? There's a bunch of restaurants there. I can pick up around Chesterfield Airport Road, come back or go somewhere else, or pick up going towards Clayton and Clarkson. Pick up there, either going that way, this way, or even to Clayton and 141. There's some restaurants there. And of course, if I'm not taking a delivery there, matter of fact, I do very few deliveries that don't pay $2 a mile. I just made a video last night about when you can compromise that, and that's on longer deliveries. I'm not going to go through that all again. Go watch that video. But $2 a mile. Don't take bad deliveries. Be disciplined. That is one of the most important tips. Be disciplined. Doesn't matter how slow it is or any of that. I mean, if it's between 2 and 4 in the afternoon, maybe that's a good time to take one of those longer deliveries that pay a little less. But don't take no $1 a mile deliveries or anything like that. Don't do that. How many times have we taken a delivery that was real iffy, and then we've already picked up the food, and then we'll get a Uber Eats offer that's twice as good or a lot better. Same way with Grubhub. Be be patient. I call it discipline. Being disciplined is one of the most important things. And then, an order in the queue is one of the big easy. Now that I've learned how to have an order in the queue and using 3 apps, I am making 300 a lot of times by 7 o'clock, and when it's not 7, sometimes it's 8 o'clock. So there's even some I even have some time left in my day and can make 300. This last weekend I made 337 one day. Thought I was going to make 400, but the Cheesecake Factory had a gas leak, and that just killed late night deliveries, or even later deliveries. They probably have 100 deliveries a night, so those 100 deliveries that all of us didn't have, and it definitely affected how things went down there. But I still made 337, did make 300 before 7 o'clock, and then on Sunday I made 326, and had that made by 7:30, and then picked up another delivery on my way home. So that left me, especially you youngsters, that leaves you a lot of time to do whatever you want to do for a little while anyway, right? So, so the order in the queue is, the second that I know I'm not going to pick up another delivery, or if I already have a stacked delivery, or if I've doubled app, I don't suggest you double app. You really got to know what you're doing to do that. A double app is when you've got 2 different app foods in your car at the same time. I don't suggest you do it, but if you do it, what you should do is turn off the other app. Or if you've got a stacked order from Doordash, for instance, turn off Uber Eats, turn off Grubhub. There's no reason to lower your acceptance rate for no reason. You're not going to take deliveries anyway. You don't want to be playing around with your phone while you're driving anyway. And then when you're about 1 or 2 minutes away from your delivery, turn them back on. And then what you're trying to do is get an order before you deliver that last delivery. That is so important that you're already heading there. But let's say that doesn't happen. You don't get an order in the queue, and then you're coming back. You're in your centralized location. Like when I come back to Clarkson to 40, here's the 2 things I do during the day. Total Wine. Let's talk about Total Wine. That's one of the 2 places that have great deliveries, that have hidden tip deliveries, blah, blah, blah. So during the day, I go straight to their parking lot, and I'm trying to let the app, the satellite, the algorithm, whatever you want to call it, say, hey, I'm here, I'm ready for my high-paying hidden tip delivery, let's go. And then at night, I roll through the Cheesecake Factory. So pick out a couple places that you have a history with of getting 2 deliveries, and stay close to there. And you got a lot better chance of getting those deliveries. And we've talked about multi-app, and of course you got a multi-app. No doubt about that. This last weekend, I did just as much outside of DoorDash as I did with DoorDash. Matter of fact, for the week, last week, 40% of everything I did was outside of DoorDash. So, multi-app, I can't talk more about it than I have lately. It's so important. And sometimes I'll only do 1 Uber Eats delivery or 1 Grubhub delivery, but it's always a really good delivery. I'll say it again, Uber Eats has a lot better deliveries and a lot better hidden tips than DoorDash. They just don't have the volume, and then they have some crazy deliveries. We've all seen them. Grubhub, on the other hand, is unbelievably transparent. What you see is what you get, which so many people say they want. Me personally, I only take good deliveries, right? So I kind of like the hidden tips. And I have a video out why hidden tips tips are necessary, you know. And I'm not going to go into all that. If you want to watch that video, I would go watch it. It is my opinion on why hidden tips are necessary, and I kind of like them because I only take good deliveries. So a little bonus at the end is kind of nice. You know, another really big thing is you got to keep the faith. It's probably going to pop at some point, right? And when it's slow, we all know a lot of people stop and they go home. You want to be one of the people left when it does pop. There was a Sunday where I had $83 in at 6:15, and I stopped working about 9:30 with 282. You know, you just never know when it's gonna pop. You know, and you got to hang tough. Matter of fact, this last Sunday, if you told me that I was gonna make $300 even at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I would say, I don't think so, man. It's just not gonna happen. My streak's gonna end. Little did I know, I was totally wrong. The other thing is, hey man, it is a marathon, not a sprint when you work full time. You know, when you do work part time, it's more of a sprint. You know, you don't have time to mess around with cheap deliveries and stuff. You know, everything I did last week, I can tell you I averaged $10 a delivery. But let me tell you, I took a fair amount of deliveries last week that paid 5 something or 6 something. I even took one delivery that paid 4 something because it went right with another one that paid 6.16. That's, you know what you call that? Grinding, baby. That's a grind. So you're gonna have to grind. We all know that 625 deliveries tend to have hidden tips, but you got to take them in the first place to get them. Doordash, you know, they have a lot of like just an added couple dollars, you know, on their deliveries. So and usually it's right around that 625 range. But both Saturday and Sunday, I'm telling you, I grinded quite a bit of that time. You know, and then, you know, some days, you know, you're gonna have to work, you know, at least 10 hours, you know, and then other days 12, and some days you may even work longer than that on the really slow days. You might say, are you crazy? I'm not working more than 12 hours a day. Well, I'm passing a semi, it's right there. You know, those truck drivers driving 80,000 pound vehicles drive 14 hours a day. It's just the way it is. That's what the model, that business model for truckers are. As much as it sucks, you know, that's what it is. And they work 14 hours a day driving those great big trucks. We can do that while we're delivering food. Not every day. Like I said, I've been hitting $300 earlier and earlier. And you almost have to hit it earlier and earlier. Both days this weekend, I'm talking Saturday and Sunday, it died about 8 o'clock, 8:30 at the latest. Man, it was over. So that's why I say you got to start a little early and, you know, and hammer it as hard as you can until you get to that 300. And that's what I'm about. That's why, well, I don't worry about how much I'm making in an hour. I'm more, did I make 300? When you make 300, you know, you can budget and stuff like that. That's going to be what my next video is about, is why it is important you're going to know how much you're going to make, and why setting the monetary goal is important, and how to use Doordash to improve your life, you know, and all that. But we can just go over these making $300 every single time tips. Number one, start as early as you can. I don't know about if you want to get out at 7 o'clock in the morning or something, because you don't want to extend your day that long. You know what I mean? 9, 9:30, 10:30 at the very latest I would get out, because you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work a lunch rush and dinner rush to make $300 every single time. possibly can by 9:30. 2, get in a centralized location in your area where you can pick up food, deliver food, pick up food kind of close to where you delivered to bring food back, or go somewhere else where they have restaurants. Hot spots, that's anywhere where there's a bunch of restaurants. Don't worry about that. I'm always working back towards Clarkson and 40, you know, because I know exactly what to expect out of there, and I know that there's a lot of good deliveries right there, and I know that I can bounce. Bouncing is so important. You gotta grind, man. You're gonna have to grind. You want to make $300 every day? You have to do some of those 5-something deliveries, some of those $6 deliveries. You know, always $2 a mile though. I'm not saying do $6 6-mile deliveries. I'm talking about $6 2-point-something deliveries. At the most, you want to push it to 3. I don't do a lot of $6 3-mile deliveries. Trust me, they're usually 2-point-something. But you're gonna have to grind a little bit. That's where the 300 becomes 330. That's where 277 goes above 300. In that grind, where you would have just been sitting, you make $20 or $30 that way. You know, and you know, you got to keep the faith. It's probably gonna pop at some time. You know what I mean? So you grind until it pops. You know, and multi-apping is key to making $300 a day. You know, I say this a lot. When Uber Eats has a good day, I'm going to make $300. It's just that easy. Now, I can make $300 without Uber Eats having a good day, but it's so much. But every time that Uber Eats has a good day, I have a good day. Grubhub is way more inconsistent in Chesterfield, and I don't know. I think because I reject them a lot, sometimes they just stop sending me stuff. But that's why it's not my primary app. They're not busy enough to keep you busy to make the kind of money that I need to make. So I'm just going to use them when it's probably convenient for me and them. But Sunday I did 2 $17 2-point-something mile deliveries with Grubhub. So I love a little Grubhub sometime, baby. Really do. You know, I think that I do try to make this fun. I try to make it like a game. You got to be flexible. It's something I didn't mention. You got to be flexible. Sometimes I'll go from Clarkson to 40 to Chesterfield Airport Road, and then I'll work Chesterfield Airport Road for 2 or 3 hours before I get back to Clarkson. Sometimes I'll go to Manchester Road, and I'll work that west end of, you know, of Manchester Road for a couple hours. Boy, I've had some really good days when I've worked that west end, keep going to Grover over and over and over, and then, you know, maybe pick up a Wild Hood pub or something like that. You know, big tippers down there in the west end of Manchester. You know, I'm real flexible. You know, I'll take a delivery to Maryland Heights and then use Grubhub and Uber Eats to work over there for a minute or two. You know, whatever it takes, baby. Whatever it takes to get to 300. That's pretty much what I'll do. You know, and then you know, after I hit 300, you know, it depends on the day. Sometimes I'll say, oh, I'm turning these off and going home, and some days I'm saying, man, I think I can make 4. You know, and that takes the pressure off another day. You know, but if you're in an area, if you're in St. Louis and you're working 10 hours a day, 11, 12, you know, and you're not making 300, or an area like St. Louis, like I said, I'm under no fantasy that St. Louis is the best Doordash area there is. There's better areas than St. Louis, no doubt in my mind. You know, I drive to Dash. I don't dash away. Right now, I'm out in the country. I'm driving home for my W-2. Now, and they have Doordash out here, and I don't dash out here because I don't think I could make the kind of money I make in Chesterfield, and that's just the bottom line. It's worth the $10 of gas gas, probably $10 back and forth. That's just one good delivery that I spend going to Chesterfield. You know, I think it's well worth it. Well worth it. So I hope those are some good tips to make 300. You definitely can. I will say this: if you've touched 300 more than once, more than twice, you can probably do it every day. Now, another thing is, if you're just starting out, don't expect to make $300 a day. There's a lot to this. This is a science, and it takes a while to get it down. You know, I mean, you're going to get better. I tell you what, I should have said this way before in this video, because there's probably only one or two people watching by now, is that the reason why people don't make money is because they're not disciplined. They just can't help themselves, and they take bad deliveries, and then they're missing